anecdotes.
Come, my lady. Come, my lady.
Come, my lady.
What's gonna fly? Sugar, baby. We are here with the How Good's This podcast, and we're back in the digital confines of the Zoom calls. And I'm very, very elated to be able to see Steve Libby's face because
Same.
I've yet to do a podcast whilst that bearded man is looking me in the eyes. How you doing, baby Steve?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Dude, we're good. Jules, you, my friend, you look
Here
like
we
a
go again. See? What do I look like?
you look like a lobster.
It's heating up out here, man. It's heating up,
Like
baby.
Mickey Mouse slapped you. You're
It's
so
heating
red.
up. I actually do feel a little warm now. I think we went on a bike ride today. I think I got a little bit of some color while I was out there. But it's all on the arms. It's all on the face, man. There's nothing else. It's like if you're wearing a shirt, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look bad?
No, you look
No,
great,
man.
bro. You
You
look
got that glow up, son.
yeah.
My frosted tips are slowly going away. It's been 7 years.
Seriously, since the Valentine's banquet when you
Yeah.
put those in order.
Dude, I did it in like July because we shot, or not July, in January because we shot it before.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've
Been
had
a long
frosted
time.
tips. You know how many times I've had to justify my frosted tips to people?
Well, what's funny is when they first did it, I don't know, Steve, if you noticed this, but Julian went and got his hair cut. He got like the fake tan. And people didn't even ask him about it. He would be like, "Oh, I got these done for a show."
Yeah.
Like as
He
he's
just
busy
jumps
with-
in. Yeah.
we're like at
Yeah.
Jimmy John's and he's just getting a root beer and they're like, "Here's your cup, sir." And he's like, "Oh, these aren't really real."
I'm an actor.
I live in New York. I'm an actor.
I'm still doing that, dude. I'm still doing that every
Does your
time.
hair not
Quit it.
grow? What's the deal with your
Quit
hair,
it.
man?
What?
Does your hair not grow? What's the deal?
No, I've just been getting it cut. It's just been deep in my roots, man. It's just
in
been
your
deep
roots,
down
man.
there, dude. Just deep down. I've been just like stuck with some frosties, dude, all day
It's not
long.
bad.
It's just down there. And plus, I got short hair, man. I don't know. I don't know. They were like, you should shave it, but then I'm like, man, I feel fat right now. My face is gonna look all pudge, and I'm gonna feel like a real Jersey boy. I want that shit,
When's the last time you had a shaved head?
dude. When we shot Starleaf, man.
Oh, it's the classic.
Remember I played that military guy and I shaved. That was the first and only time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what a good film, man!
Yeah.
We need to have an
What a
annual
good film,
We
man.
need to have an annual Starleaf. Do you think we could get the rights signed off by the producer and director to do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000
Great idea.
version of Starleaf where you, me, and Steve just sit in front of it talking shit?
Probably.
Great idea. I
need to
guarantee
get-
they sent joint packs with the fucking DVD. I don't think they care.
Yeah. I don't give a shit,
They
dude.
sent them to, they
They're
sent them, like
down.
Delaware and Rhode
They're
Island.
pumped.
too.
They're pumped. We're talking about them on the podcast right now, man. Go check it out.
I mean, honestly, though, to be frank, when I saw that show, it far exceeded my expectations.
What did you expect?
I don't know. Like for some reason, I thought you guys shot it on like one of those old Home Alone like handyman
Oh,
recorder
right.
things, and
Yeah.
I mean, to that guy's credit, he did only shoot them on like 2 little like Canon Mark III like DSLR cameras, and we had nobody. It was awesome. It was crazy, man. That was the best.
Nice.
it kind of
Shaving my head.
goes to
Yeah.
show you how bonkers like production equipment is nowadays.
Yeah.
Like you can't. I mean, unless you have a very, very trained eye as a cinematographer or director of photography, telling the difference between like the production cameras we use up in the studio versus like a $50,000 ARRI Alexa, you have to have a very trained eye to tell the difference if you color both of them well.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with comparison videos on YouTube's where like DPs well, because I'm such a hobbyist like
Yeah.
with photographer and video, and these guys will compare like $100,000 red Monstro that shoots in 8K to like a fucking Sony A6300, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
you
6300
can't-
for sure.
you can't can tell the difference. Like you can
6300,
barely
sure.
tell the difference.
No
Yeah,
way.
that's all jargon to everybody listening. An
Yeah.
A6300 costs like $400.
Mm.
Yeah, I got
And
one of them babes, dude.
it's so wild, man.
Right
We're
here.
living in the future. Speaking of uh, photography and production, I have to tell you guys this story. I think I've probably filled both of you guys in on this already, like inside conversations, but I had this gig the other day, and I actually just want to get this story down on wax because
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna I know I'm gonna forget it, and it was literally the most absurd, stressful day of my life. I got a call from Logitech. Logitech is everybody knows Logitech. They do like gaming headphones and mice, keyboards, and a bunch of really
Nice.
cool products. But they just released these boardroom video conferencing cameras, and actually, this camera right here that everybody's, if you're watching the YouTube, you'll see
Ooh,
it. I'm using. It's
is it
very,
nice?
it's crisp, bro. It's
Crisp, dude?
yeah. It's like check me out. I got a remote. I can do like I can do
What? Come
pans
on
and
now, dude.
I
Come
can
on
zoom
now.
in, dude.
So
Add a
can
little
I.
pension. Add a little
Look at
pension.
me. I do the same thing, dude. I can twist and shout.
Um, so they were throwing a party for their sales team. They have 1,000 employees from all over the globe. So they call me. They asked me to play a live show during their sales party, which is like it's just like every other sales party nowadays with companies. They're online. It's a Zoom call. It's like the one and not the only, but like it's definitely the biggest gig I've got.
So you
So
needed the gig.
I needed the gig. It was like I was excited for it. So I get everything set up in my mother-in-law's greenhouse, and we're ready for the gig. There's 3 different gigs. There's a 7 a.m. for the American market. There's a 3 p.m. which is for like the Australasia market, and then there's a 2 a.m. which is like for Europe. 7 a.m. show. We're all set up. We're dialed in, dude. My guitar sounded fire. I got the mad reverbs on my vocals so I can sound like Harry Styles. And about 2 minutes before I'm supposed to go on, they're introducing me, right? Like he's from Washington State, and his dad is a minister, and he sings soul music. Like they're introducing me, right? I look up at my computer screen because I have a reference monitor, and my battery icon has a little emblem over it that says not charging. So I'm like, okay, my computer's going to die before I finish this set. So fuck me, I'm screwed. So I kind of jump up right before they introduce me, and I unplug the Thunderbolt cable that's supposed to be powering my computer. Whole system crashes. Pull the Thunderbolt cable, everything goes down. Cameras go bye-bye. I'm off the stream. I'm like, oh my God. So I plug it back in, get everything situated. Okay, I'm good. I'm back, right? I'm here. Hey, cool. Start playing my tunes. I'm going through, like, telling some funny stories. I told them the, like, CeeLo Green story and finger foods. You know, like, they really dug that one. It was a hit.
It's a classic.
Well, I look up at my battery still the entire show, and it's still not charging. It's slowly going down. So this is at 30%, 25%. 15%. I'm on like 2 songs to being done. And I have to play. I'm contracted to play like an hour, right? So the battery's just still going down, still going down. At 5% battery left, right? I rush through the last song. Cool, I love you guys. Dream different. Yeah.
How are you singing? Were you singing well, or did you even care what you were singing?
I
Because you were just
no,
so nervous.
I think I did okay.
Yeah, that's your gift.
So literally finished the last song. Computer dies. I'm like, okay, well, I got 6 hours until the next show. We're good to go, right? Bring my laptop in to the house, plug it into the charging cable, press power, doesn't turn on. Give it 10 minutes, press power, doesn't turn on. 30 minutes, press power, doesn't turn on. So I call my father-in-law, Muzz, fill him in on the situation. He's like, well, man, you know, and I didn't realize this. Steve, you would have realized this, but I didn't. Australian power outlets are different voltage than American outlets. So American outlets pump out like 110 volt with like a 5 amp. Australian do 220 volt with like a 10 amp. And so my battery was charging with different power, which at that stage, my mind's going, oh, I fried my battery. So my battery's completely fried. I can't turn on my laptop. I've got to do another show in 6 hours or I can't do this show. So I'm freaking out. So I'm freaking out and I buy a new laptop.
God damn, dude.
Send Taz to go get it, right? As I'm like trying to figure out my computer. She gets back. I open up the laptop. I get going on it. None of the programs that I need to run work because they just released these new laptops 6 months ago. And so none of the programs are capable of running off that chip yet. So just bought a new laptop. It doesn't work. So get Taz's laptop, wipe it to factory settings, load all of the programs that I need to load onto it, get it all situated in 5 hours with like 3 minutes to spare before the sound check, right? And I'm like, totally, a lot of like, nothing's ever easy.
And it's been like what, like 9-10 hours at this point for the whole day, or just?
Oh yeah, I was up at 4 a.m. and now it's like 2 p.m. Right? So
Yeah.
I'm situated. I've done it. I've pulled off the miracle of getting a new laptop situated to pull off this stream. Like, you guys know the technicalities of what it takes to do one of these streams. Listeners probably don't, but there's like 4 or 5 programs running simultaneously in order to do one of these live stream casts and make it sound good and make it look good. So I get it all up and running. I'm feeling pretty stoked about myself. About 2-3 minutes to spare before the sound check for the show. The sound check is an hour before, make sure everything's situated. Bro, 1:58. Sound check's at 2 p.m. The lights in the greenhouse flicker. All the power goes out.
No.
I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. Fuck me. So I run up into them. I'm thinking, oh, it's, I'm in a greenhouse, like
Chipmunk ate the power.
yeah, right. Like some kangaroo chewed
Julian.
through the lead or something. And I just look at my mother-in-law and the expression on her face, I realized that like the power is actually out. So
Oh God, dude.
we hop in the car. We drive up to my brother-in-law's house, and they've got no power. Hop on the cell phone, call our friends in the area. All of power in Mount Macedon is out, and I've got to stream to Australasia in 45 minutes. Run back down to the greenhouse, grab everything I need, my laptop, my interface, my camera, hop in our rig. We drive to my sister-in-law's office, which is like a chiropractor's office, and set up the stream in their like break room. Taz, bless her heart, Taz hand draws a Logitech sign.
Amazing.
And we do the whole stream from there. I kind of lean into it a little bit, like, hey, power went out, crazy storm happening right now. Luckily, your Logitech rally cams, like, and their mobility, because if it wasn't for the cams, it would have actually legitimately been a shit show. Finish that show, I'm like, oh, great. We've got one show left. It's at 2 a.m. Of course, we'll have power back at the house by 2 a.m. Like, how is that like not going to be possible? I go to dinner and like just proceed to like get wasted. I just had such a stressful day. I'm like just shooting with Muzz, my father-in-law, and he's like, Mike, yeah, you fucking pull that off, right? And I'm just leaning into it like, it is crazy. There's like this one program that really is like 3 gigabytes, So we get back to the house. It's like 8 p.m. I'm going to go to bed, right? Because, I got to be up at midnight to do this other show. So I go to bed, convinced that the power is going to be on any minute. I'm going to wake up, do the cast, no problem. Bro, I wake up at midnight, power's still off. So
World was against you, man. World was against you.
It was spinning the opposite direction.
Damn, dude.
So our plan B was just to go back to Jill's office. She said we could go back there and cast. Call Jill. All of the power in Gisborne is out. So there's no power at her office either. So Muzz, my father-in-law, bless his heart, is like, mate, I reckon we could run it off a generator. Pulls out a diesel generator, starts it up. Luckily, their internet at their house comes through the phone line instead of like proper cable coax internet. We ran the last show at 2 a.m. off of a fucking 2-stroke generator. While trees are, I'm telling you, it's like a 100-year storm in Macedon. Trees are falling all over the winds.
Hasn't happened like this before in a long time.
Bro, the little pocket where Jen and Muzz's, my in-laws' house was like pretty sheltered because it's kind of down in this valley. But I could send you pictures of the surrounding areas. There was more trees down than, I mean, it must have been thousands of trees had fallen during the storm. It was insane, and it was the only day.
Yeah, right.
I mean, like a year and a half, I haven't had a gig, and it's like the one day I've got one. It was so stressful. We finished the show at 3 a.m. Normally, when I'm out on the road, when there's stress happening, I feel it, but not in the same capacity because I got a crew of capable men who I know will figure it out. Steve's there, Bear's there, Tim's there, my squad's there, and they are capable individuals who will figure out whatever it is we need to figure out. I still feel a little bit of stress because if we can't do the gig, we don't get paid, and then I can't pay people, and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
But in this scenario,
Yeah.
I was the only person who could figure the thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, like my family was around and they were helping me navigate like how to do it. But
just taking care of you emotionally, probably.
well, yeah, but like I couldn't go like the technicalities of what it was going to take to pull the stream off via the programs and the internet and the sound and the video. I'm the only person in the room who knew that. And so I'd never felt stress like that. I've felt stress on the road before, but like I said, I've got capable individuals who I'm like, Bear, I believe you. You can figure, like, Tim, you got this. You can do it. What do you need from me? A coffee? Okay. It was wild, dude. It was absurd.
But they dug it.
You aged in that day. You aged.
You got a couple gray pubes, dude.
I aged, and I feel like I leveled up a little bit too. I got an email from the program organizer that was just like so great afterwards. He's like, through all odds, like the world through every single obstacle they could. It was almost like a motivational email. He's like, and you, my friend, pulled it off, and us at Logitech, we're thankful for you. He was so cool.
That's awesome.
And just complimenting Taz and my family and my management team for just us pulling it off. It was like, I can't believe we pulled it off. It was absolutely insane.
Amazing.
You ready to do the next one when they ask you?
They can invite you back.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Just waiting for them. Speaking of those, are you getting gig requests nowadays? Now that the world is back opening up?
Yeah, we've got some. Coming in. I recorded a solo, like stripped down record, and so that's what my like 2021 beginning of 2022 is looking like. Is like me on stage and a guitar.
You the hype man?
And so the other, out every day.
Got you, dude.
So the shows that we're getting are like, if we accept offers, they're like privates. Like private shows for corporations or weddings. And I think that there's still quite a bit of hesitation with corporations to do in-person events. I think that like some events are coming back, like concerts are coming back, sporting events are coming back, but I feel like private in-person shows with Logitechs or Microsofts are going to be the last thing to come back because they're maybe just a little bit more hesitant or more careful, or I'm not sure, but we haven't received a lot of those. We got some gigs. We got a festival gig, and we're playing the Gorge with Dave Matthews over Labor Day.
Yeah, boy.
Which will be sick.
When's that? Labor Day?
Yeah, September 3rd.
Sweet. Just once or the
Yeah,
weekend?
it's just one. We play Friday night.
Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Sweet. You going, Steve?
I don't know. Probably.
You better be going.
Let's roll out.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the call for sure.
Can I give D Maths a chest bump?
Davey Maths.
Yeah.
He might
Dude,
punch you in
Davey
the
Maths
face
was
afterwards.
We saw Davey Maths one time at a hotel, and he obviously recognized you, and like came up and was very cordial and kind and sweet and so soft spoken. He sounds just like you would expect him to sound, like just very, just like zenned out, and like he did 4 hours of yoga right before he came
Right.
in. And I remember him walking away after he had like said, "Hey," like give you a hug and kind of walked away. We were getting on an elevator, and he like turned away and made it a point to come back and be like, grab my hand and be like, "Hey man, I'm Dave." And I was just like, I'm Julian, man. Thanks for coming back and shit saying that. Like you didn't need to do that at all, but
Dave.
it was a very sweet thing that he did.
He's
He's a
like
nice guy.
he's
So I think I can chest bump
Give him
him.
a chest bump.
I'm gonna give him a chest bump.
Yeah,
Just like, this is
chest
from
bump might-
K-Logs.
Might be a little aggressive for him. I might give him like a thrust.
I don't think any
bump.
of those things would be appropriate.
I might just give him like a back.
Pat.
I might just crack his back. Just crack his back for
From
him.
behind, like,
Yeah.
like pull him back off his feet
Yeah.
and try to crack his flexor.
Yeah.
I had yeah, Dave. I've known Dave for quite a while. Dave was like one of the first people to give me a proper like opening slot. And when I had a manager at the time who had this like growth on his ear. That he was like really kind of insecure. I mean, I think what had happened is he had gotten his ear pierced, and it like the scar tissue just like never stopped growing. So he just had like what looked like a gauge on his lobe, or like
It
a
was like
second
inverted
ear.
gauge.
It was huge. It was like this
It looked
huge thing.
disgusting.
It was pretty
Shout
wild.
out.
It looked like a tumor on a 12-year-old dog's ass, dude. It was ugly.
It was super ugly, and
Yikes.
like nobody specifically like in the first 5 minutes of meeting him had the courage to be like, dude, what's on your ear? Right? Like I've seen him meet a million people and seen them look at it, but not ask him, right? Dude, we were playing with Dave Matthews at the Gorge. Like this is like one of our first gigs ever for a real, like a proper big band. And dude, Dave Matthews just walks right up to my manager and goes, "What's that?"
Bro, you got
Bro.
goiters.
I lost it. I think Laura was standing in that same circle. It was like
She
me,
was.
Laura, and this
that?
manager. And Dave just comes up like and gets. I mean, it wasn't like he was far away, and he pointed, and he could have interpreted like, "Oh, do you mean my hat or do you mean my shirt?" Like he got up there like 2 inches away from the thing and was like, "What's that?"
Yikes.
Savage.
Yeah, that thing was.
Respect.
It was so savage. I was
weird.
like, I love you, Dave Matthews, bro. Hey, folks. Today, our episode is brought to you in part by our good friends at Ladder Coffee. Head to laddercoffee.com and you can order beans directly from the brewer, as well as some of this beautiful cold brew. Locally owned and operated out of Spokane, Washington. Check it out. Ladder Coffee.
I'm jacked.
I'm kind of nervous, man. Like, honestly, like first full band gig back after a year and a half not playing in front of humans is going to be at the Gorge Amphitheater in front of like potentially 45,000 people. Like, I'm kind of terrified.
Nah, dude, you'll be great.
It's going to be fine. But there's a part of my brain that's just like,
What is it that's terrifying? Just doing it again? Like, I mean, that's probably kind of a terrifying gig anyways. When you're always, I imagine you're nervous every time you go out and do something, no matter what, if it's a headline tour, if it's whatever. So yeah, I guess it's just amplified by the fact that it's the biggest venue in our home state. And
well, it's the biggest amphitheater in the United States.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's the biggest outdoor venue in
Whoa.
like as far as amphitheaters go
Wow, I didn't know that.
in America.
It's so cool.
It's so sick, dude.
I love that
Gorgeous,
place.
gorgeous.
It's so
Yeah.
sick. But I think it's also too like the Dave Matthews Band. Whatever you think about their fan base or whatever you think about them, they are one of the sickest, nastiest live shows bands of all time, without
Incredible
question.
show.
Right.
Like
Incredible show.
unbelievable. If you go watch Dave Matthews Band, you're like, oh, that's okay. That's a different level. That's
Right.
like a whole another level. And so, coming out, not having played in front of a live audience for a year and a half, and going on right before them in front of their fans, it's a little nerve wracking a little
Yeah,
bit
of
there.
course.
Okay.
When you haven't seen any of these people in over a year and a half either that you're going to go play with.
Right.
You're gonna have a lot of love
like your
there.
teammates.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're gonna have a lot
you-
of love. It'll be exciting. Everyone's gonna be so stoked that it's happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all positive vibes. Just go crush it.
Yeah. Plus, I'm sure there's gonna be tons of love, man, from people that are like actual proper Alan Stone fans going to see the show as well. So,
Yeah.
it's the Gorge, man. Like people go. I've been to that show a bunch of times. I don't even like Dave Matthews. I mean, I like him for what he did as far as his handshake with me, but I don't care about his music.
Savage, bro.
I'm just saying, man. Like
Savage.
it's fine, it's cool, but
Definitely.
it's just a great time, and I think people, maybe I'll come watch you, dude. Maybe I'll come cheer you on, dude.
Yeah, come hype him up.
Rip it up.
I'm gonna be
Give some
wasted for
Give
sure.
some CBs.
Dude, Stevie-Baby's
You're gonna be wasted, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking.
Anytime
more.
Alan plays at like 5 p.m., I'm getting smorgasbord afterwards.
Ooh.
knocked.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, yeah. Then you got to stay. You got to camp out at the Gorge, man. Get those real nice campfires going. That real nice campfire drunk.
We
I
went
love
to
I love Steve at a campfire drunken time.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
thanks, bud.
Campfire Steve is like it's like Smokey the Bear, without the vest.
I love it.
We used to go and see. Speaking of Dave at the Gorge, we used to go and watch. I've loved Dave Matthews since I was like a teenager. Since Crash, bro. Since Crash.
Dude, Crash Into Me. Whew.
And
What do you know about it?
What do you know about it? We would go.
Everybody knows about it.
Literally everybody knows about Crash.
Name another one.
Grace Street,
Satellite.
Ants Marching, Satellite. Bro, he's got
Satellite.
Starleaf.
Ooh,
Starleaf.
yeah, dude.
He's got
That's
so
his
many
top
hits.
hit, dude. That's his top choice.
We would go. I met a earlobe manager, bringing it back, was friends with one of Dave's merch people, and so we would get like, free tickets to go to the shows. And we had a gig in Montana the night before Dave Matthews. We were gonna go from Montana, drive all the way to the Gorge, which is like an 8-hour trek, to go see Dave at the Gorge and meet up with this merch girl. Like she would bring us backstage and like get us on the bus back when I was like 20 years old. It was like, whoa, dude, it was
So
the
pumped.
coolest. I felt like I had made it, like just
Sure.
because I was going in the bus. And we were all exhausted. We played the night before in Montana, and he's been on the podcast before, but he's one of our best friends, Alex Boyle. It's me, Alex Boyle, and our friend Joe Gill. It's us three, and I'm driving, and I'm exhausted, and I doze off. We're going 75 miles an hour down the freeway, and I wake up in the middle of the median going 75. I wake up because Boyle goes, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, we're all just like, dude, you were totally sleeping.
Yeah. Like very calmly, like, "Hey, wake
Smoking a
up."
cigarette.
I fishtail left, fishtail right, fishtail left again. Don't touch the brakes. I'm on cruise control. I'm going 75. Pop it back up onto the freeway, and somehow don't roll my parents' Buick Rendezvous. It was the most. I pull off to the side of the road, like Boyle chain smokes like 9 cigarettes.
Yeah. Hey, Boyle, can you drive? Oh,
Dude,
wait.
it's terrifying. Have you guys ever been like in a proper car accident?
No,
No, I feel like we've talked
thankfully.
about this on the podcast, and I don't think you had an answer for this either. You're like, nah, I've never been in one, but now you're telling this one.
Let's see if you
I've
can
never.
crash into me.
Crash into me.
Yeah, of all the traveling that me and Steve have done you've never been in a proper collision, Steve.
Nope, I've been in one where it was just LA traffic, and my friend was driving in rear end of this other car just because they were both kind of going into the same lane at the same time. So it was just kind of like a big dent in the front of they ditched. My friend was freaking out. He pulled over, but it wasn't, we're going 7 miles an hour.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no.
God.
Pretty savage bumper car games, though. Putt and play back in the day,
Seriously.
I'll tell you that.
Bro, who
Whiplash.
was it when we were on the road flipped one of the go-karts? We went to that
Really?
go-kart spot in
Houston?
Dallas, was it?
Dallas?
Houston?
Dallas.
Wasn't it like Evan Oberla? Like, didn't he flip a go-kart?
He doesn't get a nickname like Hurricane Oberla if he doesn't do shit like that all the time.
Seriously, what a savage.
He might have. I don't remember.
Wasn't it a Buick? Wasn't it a Buick LeSabes, Alan?
So at that time, Buick's.
Your parents had Buicks all
yeah,
life long.
They're a Buick family.
They're a Buick family, yeah. No, my folks, because they just took pity on me that weekend or something. I was like, hey, can I borrow the LeSabre, or can I borrow the Rendezvous? My folks had like a Buick Rendezvous, which had 3 rows of seats. I never told them either. This is probably how they'll find out. Like, I never told them that I almost rolled it. It was so terrifying, dude.
I love when people reference anything by its first and last name, like
Buick
Buick Rendezvous. Like, you just the Buick Rendezvous are like a first and last name when you're talking about some kid in 7th, and you're just like, oh man, Elliot Matheson was totally taking a dump over next to me, man. It's like nobody knows who this person is, but you're given first and last names. Buick Rendezvous.
Shout out to Buick.
What you know about it?
Do
they even make those?
I don't know if they make them anymore. They were a good rig, man. They're a good rig. My parents went through 2 of them.
I don't think they make Buicks.
Oh, of course they do, bro. Tiger Woods
Really?
drives them.
Tiger Woods drives them.
Wow.
How do you know?
Because he's in all the ads.
He's the
Really?
one. He's the
I thought that was Matthew McConaughey. Oh,
No,
that's Lincoln.
Lincoln, bro.
Damn, dude. Could you guys imagine getting that commercial? Just sitting in a car looking pretty and saying nothing besides,
All right.
I'll take.
Which gig would be your dream gig? Like, of all the commercials or movies,
Just commercials.
or like, what's your one gig that you're like, dude, that would be sick?
You talking to me?
Anybody?
Not
Steve?
talking to me. I mean, I know
No, I'm definitely talking to
Flo's
Steve.
stacked in the.
That's
Where's my phone at now? Or
Flow stacks for sure, dude. I'm trying to gain a hundy and be Chris Farley, man, for show, dude. For sure.
Don't lie to the listeners.
I'm not lying to the listeners.
You're not trying to
play
gain a
Chris
hundy. So
I wouldn't want to play the role unless I gained a hundy.
Okay, question.
Oh, you want to play a role as Chris Farley?
Yeah,
in a commercial.
Which
is what the question
we moved outside of not just commercials. No, he said movies too. He said commercials and movies. I don't want to play Chris. I mean, I would play Chris Farley in a commercial. I wouldn't gain a hundy for a commercial though. I'd gain a hundy for like the proper biopic, not for like a singular wireless commercial.
What if it was only like the investigation discovery biopic, where it's like of like it's like real footage mixed with like playing, so you only have like probably 5 minutes of actual acting happening between the movie.
Yeah,
but you're Chris Farley. Would you do it then?
I have to make some real choices there, man. I might gain like 50 and then add a fat suit of the extra 50. I want to. I really want to. I don't think, and this is a serious thing. Like, I would love. I want to write a script where it is the last 3 weeks of Chris Farley's life, and it is like kind of a testament to, not even a testament. It's more of like an awareness into what we didn't see of Chris Farley. We all think of Chris Farley as this comedic icon, and he is by far one of the greatest iconic comedians of our time, maybe ever. But his legacy goes on as kind of just like this crazy guy that got drugged out and died and committed suicide, who was hilarious and super fun and crazy. But like, I want to write a story about the last 3 weeks of his life and what was going on there, and to kind of raise awareness of like substance abuse and mental health, because telling that story through his lens is something that I don't think ever got told, and that's something that's really kind of profound to me. And I would love. I don't really do Chris Farley that well. But I wouldn't want to. I mean, I feel like I would have to do that in order to play that role really well. But God, you can't do that unless you gain that weight and feel that thing. You know, I wouldn't want to not pay homage to a life that is real, that to somebody who I love and cherish so much. I think it would be important to me to do that justice.
Should I drop 350 and play David Spade?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Let's get David Spade on the podcast and ask him 0 questions about him and just all about the last 3 weeks of Chris Farley's life.
Oh my God. I think he would melt.
He might.
Yeah.
So that's like, I mean, probably only happens once every 100 years, but somebody passing and people not sharing nice things about them. Like, what do you think, if there's a barometer about like how terrible of a person you have to be in order for everybody to be like, oh yeah, that guy was like at your funeral, like,
right?
Thank God he's out of here, right? Like,
yeah,
there's people who are alive that when they're alive, you'd be like, that guy fucking sucks. Like,
kind of an asshole.
Is it R. Kelly? Like, is that the barometer? Like, if R. Kelly dies, are we only going to think about the like kidnapping and the rape stuff, or are we going to be like, are we going to just somehow forget about that and only talk about I Believe I Can Fly?
That's a
I think he's out of this. I think he's out.
I think he's out.
I don't think so.
No, I don't know. I don't think so
No,
either. Like,
do I think people will say nice things? For sure. It's like he was an asshole when he was alive. Now that he's dead, he's a saint. You know.
Yeah, like like I guess the question is, are people gonna like bump his music like on that day? Like when DMX passed away, everybody was like blasting. You know, like
that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. Like,
but it's not a perfect example because DMX didn't have that same reputation. So
didn't he?
It would be different.
No. DMX
No.
Not even close.
No.
Well, not like rape people, but like DMX was like a proper, like in and out of court.
I don't know. I don't know, but either way, like that's not even on the same level as something like a
kidnapping and rape.
Like an R. Kelly. Yeah, so it's just like if you bump in his music, I mean, but I don't know, man. Like I still, you know, get down to Michael Jackson music all the time. It's always on, and he's somehow managed to like transcend this social idea of canceled culture. Although he's dead, I don't know. He still plays. Nobody's playing R. Kelly.
I'm not going to compare MJ's music to R. Kelly's, though. Either.
Me neither. Me neither. Totally.
Right, but the allegations aren't different between like Michael and R. Kelly. They're pretty much like, I would even venture to say that the allegations against Michael are worse.
I feel like for me as a listener of Michael Jackson, because so much of my identity was rooted in his music, it's almost as if like if I don't know, like R. Kelly, I didn't ever really listen to that much to begin with, so it's almost like I have to separate the music from the person, from the artist, and if I discontinue it from my life and from like my world, it becomes like a dismissal of my own identity, and I don't know how to really do that because it was so much a part of my youth and my growing up that I'm just like, I don't even know how to get rid of that at this point.
You're never gonna watch a Harvey Weinstein picture again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the hardest part about like an artist versus an art. Like, is the art? Can the art live free of the artist? Can you like bump the hell out of R. Kelly tunes and not agree with his lifestyle? I think you can. I'm personally on the space that you should be able to appreciate somebody's art separate from the artist.
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
choice. I mean, it's ultimately like your decision to do whatever you want. People still listen to fucking "I Believe I Can Fly." Ooh. No,
right,
they do that.
but we
I thought you were gonna hit me with the woo,
sure,
but
but
then
it's
I realized we were singing R. Kelly and we
What's the
weren't
new
trying
song
to.
for the new Space Jam? Are they doing
Oh,
something
I
for
don't
that?
know.
I don't know, dude. I hope that it's like Lizzo or something.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know.
That'd be
Have you
awesome.
guys? Is it out?
I saw a
it's
preview
I
for it.
saw. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
seeing
Does it look
promotions
good?
for it. I went to a movie for the first time,
It
bro.
looks
Over
What'd you
great.
here.
see?
Oh,
Nice.
we saw Spirit Untamed, but Rudy'd never been
The
to
fuck
a.
is that?
Is that the horse?
It's like a horse. Yeah.
Was it good?
Uh, Rudy had
Untamed, bro.
Rudy had never been
Untamed.
to a movie theater, and so we
Yeah.
brought him
Wow.
and his two cousins to the movies, and I saw the ad for Space Jam. LeBron's
Mhm.
on it. I'm like, duh.
Yes, we saw
Yeah.
that ad when we saw In the Heights last week.
Oh yeah, you saw that too, man. You guys have been seeing movies.
I
That
mean,
has
the
been
theater
good.
was still it was empty.
Was it?
Maybe 8 other people in there.
That's so interesting because so many places out here in New York are just so fucking packed.
You can.
Balls to the walls, just packed.
That's crazy.
Like
I don't know
it's
if you still can,
insane.
but you can rent. They were doing this for the last like 3 months. Rent a theater in a screen for $200 and throw like a party. They're
Dude, we
just trying
just
to
had
get
a
people in there.
yeah, we just had that happen. So there was a movie that I was a part of a year and a half, 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half ago was the beginning of COVID. Maybe like 2.5 years ago, and we just did a premiere at said venue that was just like we're giving discounts on like offering our like small movie theater space to like independent filmmakers who want to come and do these screenings, and it was not really a small tiny little like independent theater. It was like this big giant massive room with hundreds of seats, and I was like, this is awesome. She was like, yeah, we didn't pay much at all for this place. We paid like
Crazy.
$500 for the night. I was like,
Wow.
wow, this is great.
It was a good premiere.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
How
It
was the
was super
movie?
cool. It was cool, man. It was super cool to be uh back to that, back to being a part of, you know, a cool project that I had been able to be a part of, and see all the cast and crew and be like, oh man, we made a movie. I forgot about that. Like, this is awesome. We're all back here together, drinking some champs,
Ooh,
having some good
Shams.
times, dude. Having a little red carpet walk, taking some pics.
What'd
I
you
wore my
wear?
Dude, I wore my. I was gonna say I wore my flowered silk shirt that I wore to your wedding. Although my nips are popping out of it now because I'm getting a little busty in the chest,
Did
so
you
I don't
have
look as
you do have a very
busty
pronounced
chest.
nipples.
Oh yeah, it's because I pierced them, man. It's because I pierced them, and then they stayed big forever. You know why I pierced them though, man? Here's a weird, vulnerable story for me. Because they used to be indented when I was a kid.
Really?
Like my nips were always indented
Huh.
because I was like kind of a chubby, like young kid, and
Uh-huh.
I had like all this like little cellulite all over my stomach. You just seen these kids at the water park that are just dancing around with their freaking little jiggly bellies.
I've
I was that
lived
little
it.
boy. I lived it too, but I had these little freaking indent nips,
Interesting.
and then when I like, and then the funniest thing was that like when I was probably the heaviest I ever was, I was just like, I gotta get rid of these fucking things, dude. I'm piercing my nips because I feel like that's gonna pull them out and make them real proper, and it did. Now they're just big nips,
Oh man,
and
I'm
you
so
know,
glad that worked out for you.
huge. Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel much more
Enormous
secure
nip.
with myself now because of it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you
Well,
guys want to see them?
that's
No.
good. No, no, don't show us.
Well,
We've seen them
you're a
enough.
loss.
We can actually see them through your tank top. So
Now you can't.
yeah, it was wild being in a movie theater. There was nobody in there watching the
Yeah.
show, but it was like, oh man,
Dude, they've
I
upped their seat game. How are the seats in Oz? I was almost
yeah,
asleep in mine, dude.
weak.
Full on lazy boy recliner.
Yeah, seat game is weak, but the popcorn game was strong.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
that's
though, they
good.
didn't have the like extra butter. You know how
Oh,
you can
what?
go and you get like your own, like you can use your own amount of butter. I was like, come on, Oz, keep up, dude.
That's
We got
bullshit.
Do you
yeah.
tell them behind the counter to
Okay,
put some more on?
No, no, it just came like stock.
let me
Just
give you
stock.
guys a thing I
Uh,
just learned here, all right?
Yeah.
please.
Okay, when we're at the movie theater the other day, Mandy, who's been like a PA on our projects, obviously the listeners, that's who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're in the Heights, and she was telling us about a terrible date she had at a movie theater this one time, but she learned one thing that she has never not done since she went back. So we got the popcorn, and she said, "Get a straw, put it on the little butter thing, stick the straw in the popcorn, and then just swivel it around while you pour the butter in, so it gets the butter all the way down to the middle and the bottom layer, and then you can do the top."
It's not about it's not about the jump and shakes.
No, it's like
The
if they just give you
dump
the
and shake?
popcorn, you put a straw in there, run the butter through the straw, and just mix it into the popcorn. The couple behind me saw me doing that and was like, "Genius!" They did it, and then a lady behind them came up and did the same thing.
Shout
It's
out
just
Mandy
passive
Egger,
knowledge,
dude.
yeah.
What a brilliant lady. And a listener of the podcast, so she'll appreciate that. Wow. That's
see,
a great
I would
great
just
life
always
hack.
fill mine up like halfway, and then put the butter in, and then take it back to the counter and ask them to fill it up the rest of the way.
Mm,
But not a very efficient way to do it, because
mm-mm.
especially if you have to go back in the line and wait there while you're eating like half your popcorn. You like miss all of the opening credits and previews, which the previews are the best. Here's my beef: no more previews.
What?
There's no more previews on
Get
the.
out.
I was
I'm not
sitting in
going.
there. I'm like, this is my favorite part
I
of
think that might
of
just
the
be an
movie.
Australian thing,
That
dude.
might be an Australian thing.
maybe.
I sat through 8.
Oh, there
were
were
they
more of
great?
them.
So many, so many.
Were you excited about every one of them?
There was a few that we were excited about. I wish I could remember them offhand. I know there was one with The Rock, so that's an instant yes.
For
My
sure,
favorite
dude.
American actor.
Yes.
And there were a couple other just with like maybe not even the movies, but just the actors that were in it. I was excited about the cast.
Yeah.
Maybe not go to
Yeah.
the movies to see it, but like I definitely like, oh good, I'm glad they're making productions
Yeah.
like that again, because I know
Mm.
people were wondering if that's ever even going to come back.
Right.
The old
Right.
school like make movies for a theater when everything's
Right.
just made for stream now.
Right.
Yeah.
So to see
I'm
a few of
surprised
those
movie-
was kind of cool that they were trying to
I'm
put
glad-
some together.
I'm just glad movie theaters came back in general, man. I thought a lot of those places would just have died
Hmm.
and gone under,
I'm
but they're
pretty
not.
sure they almost did. If it wasn't
For sure,
if it
man. Like they
wasn't
were already almost going under as it was before
True.
COVID.
Hmm.
yeah.
People are excited that they're back now.
They'd have to pivot to being like, hey, if you want to come watch, the first season of Peaky Blinders today in the theater,
Yeah.
like do pivot to doing something like that, like
Yeah.
airing streaming, but with the Dolby surround sound and
Yeah.
the Lazy Boy and the buttered
Well,
popcorn.
Yeah, I think what they're going to have to do, I think a lot of retail is going to need to probably do this. And I'm hoping that we'll start seeing this and experiencing this in the States as we're coming out of this pandemic, is catering to the experience. Like,
Mhm.
I can go get anything I want on Amazon, right? And usually cheaper. It's going to be impossible for retailers to beat Amazon prices. But what Amazon can't do is cultivate an experience. So when I go to my local retailer of jeans or men's clothing, I'm hoping that the pandemic and what will start popping up are these mom and pop shops where you're given an experience. So you go in, you get a whiskey sour while this really suave guy shows you what clothes are hip and helps you try on clothes. So you take a half an hour, 45 minutes to go get a pair of pants versus this like click and collect situation that has become so popular with the internet. I'm hoping that those shops will start popping up, and I'm hoping that movie theaters will start doing that as well. Like, yeah, I can watch a movie at home, I can stream anything I want, but I'm going to AMC theaters because they have the best seats, they have the best sound, the popcorn and the food, the beer, everything is divine. Versus like, dude, food game at AMC's is bullshit. It's like, well, who wants
it's awful.
a slushy, bro? Give me some fucking garlic prawns, bro, while I'm sitting and watching Paul Dano. I want to lick my fingertips while Dano's giving his fucking there will be blood
prosperous
speech.
monologues. Yeah.
Speaking
that's
of Paul
true.
Dano, did you guys watch Escape at Denimora?
No.
I didn't, but I heard it was great.
It's super.
He's in it?
It's him, Benicio, and Patricia Arquette. Oh, it's so good, bro.
Yeah, dude. He's
And a crazy
he's a badass.
story.
Ben Stiller was like the
He directed it.
showrunner of that show.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
he directed it.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Super cool, man. We just had a girl that was staying here at our house for a week, who Steph, my roommate and our friend, had made friends with just randomly who was on a Ben Stiller production out here. She's an actress, and so she was coming out for her second time doing like a handful of episodes on this new Ben Stiller show called Severance.
Ooh.
Sounded interesting, man. She was telling me all about her experiences with him. Sounds like such a sweetie, man. Says he's all gray now and just like
Oh, Benny Stills, bro? You kidding
Benny
me?
Stills,
That's
dude.
legend.
He's
Yeah.
a legend, dude.
I know. It was so cool to just be like in like sitting in the room, just like she like came home from working on set and was just like, so thrilled by the whole
Oh,
experience and
that's
was just like,
awesome.
God, it was so cool. I've had the best day. It's like, that's so great, man. Especially coming out of this last year and a half junkus.
How many
What I
minutes
like-
until you asked if there was a part for you in it?
I asked immediately.
You're
There
like, do
wasn't.
you need an assistant?
You need me. You need me.
What I think what's coolest about Stiller's story is he's been in the entertainment industry forever. Both of his parents were actors,
Yeah.
and he's like been on sets since he was, 1 years old, and he still just has such a passion for filmmaking.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's great.
Like so
We were
cool
watching-
to see.
My brother Gabe was out here for my birthday, and he turned on Happy Gilmore last night. And Ben Stills, like I've just forgotten that he was in that movie, like as the asshole
orderly?
doctor.
Yeah, the
the
orderly, yeah.
orderly. That's just like, you got glasses, shut the hell up, you know?
Well, guess we just picked up landscaping duties.
yeah.
My
it's so
fingers
good.
hurt.
My fingers hurt. She had a great role too.
I've always wanted to write a record or make a band. Like, how there's this band Scary Pockets that like takes all these like pop songs and makes some funk songs, and there was a band called Postmodern Jukebox. I think they're still doing their thing. They take all these pop songs and make them like 50s tunes.
Mhm.
It always happens to me with people our age that like one of the first icebreakers is we stand in a circle and we just like recite our favorite lines from shows that we've all seen. And I wish that there was like a band that all their lyrics were just those lines. Like the song is called Happy Gilmore, and it's just all your my fingers hurt. My fingers hurt. My fingers.
There might be somebody.
Duty. Well, now you pull landscape duty.
There might be somebody, man. Maybe we can write some of those songs.
Trying to make that band. Can't you? Are you too good for your home? Are you too good for your home?
I don't want your
Your
life. Let's put it on the list of to dos.
Yeah, we can
Start
definitely
writing
live
some
at the
songs.
lodge that.
Is Live at the Lodge like a cycling thing that's going on still?
Mhm.
Are you guys still?
We did exactly what we did for the podcast for Live at the Lodge, which is we
Right.
banked some,
Yeah, we did like 4
Shows. and I've been releasing those. We did a couple of these, like a song from nothings, like me, Steve, and Laura just like wrote songs from nothing and edited them. They're actually super cool, and we're getting good response back from people on the Patreon.
Dude,
about
they're
'em.
great songs. I need the
Yeah.
workout jam. I want the tunes.
Yeah. Get that. That was a cool song.
And we've also been releasing the productions that we all did together. So like the Valentine's Day banquet.
It's up now.
I'm releasing it slowly, so I'm just doing all the songs from it, like all the covers on the
cool.
Patreon page. And then we'll release the full thing. I released the original variety show that I had made. We're giving the Patreon people bang for their buck. It's not all the same Live at the Lodge stuff, but we're giving them quite a bit of
Mhm.
exclusive content. So,
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that variety show, that Christmas special, those Valentine's banquet, and all this episodes of Live at the Lodge, you better jump on board and get with the probe. Come on now. Come on now.
get with that
Haven't you guys
pro.
met us? We got cold brew sponsorships now. We're getting serious.
Getting straight.
Where is that cold brew? Dude, I
serious.
need some of that.
It's not
Yeah, I was
here.
thinking about turning on my like 4th coffee of the day, but I
No.
think,
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Still
right
water.
now.
Why do you say no to him, Steve?
Because it doesn't
You're looking out for his best ints.
need 4 coffees to sit in the house all day.
I'm doing stuff.
Are you gonna go to the park? What are you gonna do today, Alan?
Rudy and Taz are down. I mean, dude, I'm in Lauren where we got married. You guys have been to Lauren, but the
Yeah, it's
viewers
beautiful.
haven't.
Gorgeous.
Lauren, Victoria is one of the most incredible beach towns in all of the world. And we're here for the weekend. We're gonna go to the beach, bro. We're gonna go down and get some lunches, man.
Nice, dude. Pulled pork sandwiches.
It's not really a thing over
Oh,
here.
avocado
they're a beach
toast.
country.
Avocado toast
Yeah, there's
for
not
breakfast
there's
everywhere.
not really that. Pulled pork is not a thing you find.
Well, that's too bad.
It is too bad.
I mean, they have other stuff that's really great. So
Nope. No, they don't.
I don't want
Dude, I
a
wish
pulled prawn sandwich. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I wish we could go back to Chin Chin Din.
Oh,
Oh,
stop it.
I know.
We went there a month ago, bro. It was still just as good as it's ever been. Got that
Really?
we got that kingfish sashimi. Steve, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my god.
yeah.
Any of our viewers ever get the opportunity to go to Melbourne, go to a restaurant called Chin Chin and get the tasting experience. It's like I think it's like $65.
It's well worth every penny
Unbelievable. Every dish, and you can't finish it. It's just
Best
too
meal.
tasty.
of my life.
I think that is the best meal I've ever had in my life, which is
10 courses. Well, the coolest part about them, too, for the listeners, if you do end up doing this, off chance, if someone has something like a gluten allergy or they don't eat pork, they don't like just skimp on that. They'll make you your own dishes as a part of the experience, like for you, so no one misses out. It's the coolest thing a restaurant's done. Like, here's your three options. It's like, no, man, they full plates just for one or two people. It was amazing.
Right. That was a blast. That was a good time. Are you waving over there at Tint, dude?
Yep, Taz and Rudy just walked through the door, which
Tin want to crack a cold one or what? Is it noon yet?
which means he's gonna, which means he's ready for his first lager of the day.
5 o'clock where Uncle Bluto is.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, you got to go hang with the fam now, dude.
Yeah,
go be a real dad.
I'm gonna go do the daddy-o thing, but dude, this was fun, guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
I loved catching up with you, and hopefully the folks at home got a few giggles out of this episode. This is a new medium for us, doing the shows like this, but the sound's great, the video's okay. Mine is, your guys' looks basic, and yeah, I had fun. I love you guys. Miss you very much.
Bud.
Love you too, man. We'll start. We'll have these continuing every single week.
Alrighty.
That's great. Give the family love out there.
Yeah, kiss everybody for me. You too, Stevie-Baby.
Yeah, you too, Steve.
Everybody just kiss everybody, okay? Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Oh, boo-boo, did you just make it to the end of the video? Yes, you did. Do you want to see more videos just like this one, huh? Do you?
Well, then head over to patreon.com/live at the lodge, where you can support the How Goods of this podcast, as well as the entire Live at the Lodge family.
Yep, yeah, you're going to get exclusive merch, personalized shout-out videos. Me and Jules, we're going to show up at your house and baptize your nephew, huh? Check it out, patreon.com/live at the lodge.